Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and this is Dispatch 3 from CES. Thank you all for sticking around and watching everything. This series from CES is being brought to you by Silicon Dust, the makers of the HD Home Run, and they've got a message for you, so let's roll that real quick. CES 2019 coverage is being sponsored by Silicon Dust, the makers of the HD Home Run. Thanks to the HD Home Run all-in-one experience, cord cutters no longer need to cobble together multiple applications or services to create a quality TV experience. HD Home Run all-in-one combines free live local broadcasts from your antenna, top cable TV channels, and a DVR service, one that you, the cord cutter, completely controls into a single, seamless app. For a limited time, new users can enjoy 2 free weeks of HD Home Run Premium TV and 2 months of free access to the HD Home Run DVR. So I want to thank Silicon Dust for sponsoring our content this year. They've actually sponsored us the last 4 years, I think, which makes all of this possible. It's a great show for me because I can meet a lot of different vendors and different companies and different people doing the kinds of things that I do as well. So it's a really great networking opportunity. And I'd like to take you along a little bit through some of these events to do that. So we're about to go into something called Showstoppers. This is a ballroom where we've got about 150 companies in one place. And I love these events because they really help make for an efficient production schedule for us. Because I had a very shortened trip here this year. So this is actually my last event before I go back home. So this will be the last dispatch, but we'll be having an interview with Silicon Dust about some of their new products and some things for the coming year. So that will be coming up shortly after this video is posted. So definitely subscribe if you haven't already and stay tuned. So let's go on inside and see what we find. So we're visiting with Otherworld Computing. This is a company I've been buying stuff from for many, many years. They largely serviced a lot of Mac users, but they're really into Thunderbolt. So I think there might be some Windows capabilities here now too. This is their eGPU. It's a little smaller, actually a lot smaller than the Akitio node that I have. So this might be a good choice if you're looking to get an external GPU in a smaller form factor. It has a 650 watt power supply, so you could put a pretty big GPU in here. And they said it runs a little quieter also. Now it's important to note is that this company, Otherworld Computing, acquired Akitio, who made the eGPU that I use. So this one might be a little quieter. It's about $400, and of course you got to bring in your own card into the mix. They also have some Thunderbolt SSDs, some portable SSDs. I believe this one is powered by an NVMe. And they have some docks also, and I really cover a lot of docks on the channel actually. They all perform about the same, but really the differences between different dock manufacturers is what ports and accessories they decide to include with them. So this Thunderbolt dock from them has a micro SD card slot and an SD card slot, so you can actually use this as a card reader. And what's great about these things is that a single cable does everything, power and data and video. So when you get home with your MacBook or your Windows PC, you plug it in and all of this stuff lights up. I think this goes for about $300, $300 or $400, so about what other ones cost. But really when you're looking at docks, you should look at what you need for ports and then kind of go from there. So they got the card reader here, a USB 3 port on the front, a bunch more USB 3 ports there, and then you've got a mini display port and then another Thunderbolt or another display that you can run out of it. So good dock here, good company, and they've been around for a long time and really good with their customers. So this is a product called GAEMS, and what these are carrying cases for your game console or even a PC that integrates a monitor, speakers, and kind of everything you need to do to bring a console or again a PC wherever you go. They fold up really nice here. It's a hard shell plastic. This one weighs about 8 pounds, not including whatever you put in it. But it's often handy, especially if you're doing things like I do, like on-the-scene kind of productions now with all the streaming and everything. You can basically get your PC set up in this little box here, open it up, and you've got yourself your production studio, or if you just want to play games at a friend's house, you can do the same thing. Now I wanted to just show you this one. This is a prototype. This one's got a 24-inch display. By the way, this is $349. This one's got a 24-inch display. We'll take a much larger device. They've also got a bunch of ports on it now, too, so you could bring in your hard drives, your headsets, and other things as well. It's got HDMI pass-through, so you can have video go out to the display here and then go out to a secondary display. They have a spot here to mount your webcam on the top, so it really is like an all-in-one production studio. These will fit most of the modern consoles, so the PS4 and the Xbox One S and X should all fit in here. And again, I think you shouldn't have a problem finding a PC that might fit into these things as well. This one looks like it's clamped down with metal. This one's just got some Velcro on there. But either way, I think they're pretty cool if you're looking for a very quick solution to setting up something on the road. So I just ran into somebody who I've been following for a while at a website called PC Perspective. And Jim Tanous, is that?
Yes, that's right. Yep, good to see you. We've been following you as well, Lon, so it's great to finally meet you.
And this is one of the things I love coming about coming to the show is I get to meet people that I follow, and it's great to see that we have mutual respect for our work, and I greatly appreciate that. So
same here, same here.
So what do you think about CES? I feel like it's incrementalism. Does that sound about right?
It is. I mean, there's some areas that, at least in the areas we cover with this PC hardware, where they've made some big leaps. And HDR monitors is really what I'm excited about. We've had them for a while. We've had ultra-wides. We've had 4K. We've had high refresh rate. We haven't had them all together in one. Asus released something last year that was $2,000 upon release. And great monitor, way too expensive. Now this year we're seeing a lot of monitors come out, so you're going to get that great gaming experience, that great movie watching experience, good image quality, and in the form factor you want. Ultra wide, huge, standard 24-inch, they got it all. So that's really the big thing I've noticed is monitors have taken a leap this year.
What about general PC hardware? Is there a lot of cool stuff that you saw here, or it's stuff that's already been announced?
NVIDIA had their 2060 release. They had the Touring come out end of last year, and the 2060 launched just this week. So that's exciting because that's when the RTX series came out, they were really high priced. They set a new bar for pricing in the wrong direction. But the 2060 at $349 of MSRP, at least, we'll see what happens on the street. But it's doing as well as maybe a 1070 and pushing a 1080 from last generation. So you're getting good gaming graphics from traditional games, as well as that ability to do ray tracing on the new stuff that comes out. And we've been very impressed. We have a review of that over at PCPer.com, and we took a look at their booth today, and they've got some pretty high-end games. Battlefield 5, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, running on what has now become a mid-range gaming card.
It's crazy, right? The price is coming down, and you're going to be able to get a lot for less.
Yeah, we were all kind of disappointed at the RTX launch because of that high price. So this is really making up for that, and we're excited to see what AMD has to say in response as well. So hopefully we'll get a new arms race in the graphics cards coming up soon.
I'd love that, and I'm seeing it in laptops now at the show also.
Yeah, the big thing is that the RTX series has a lower power requirement, so they're able to put higher performance in those not ultra thin, but not the traditional 6-inch thick gaming laptops. So you've got 40 laptops, I think, coming out from various manufacturers that are going to have RTX series cards. They'll do real-time video encoding for streamers, obviously gaming, things like graphics effects, real-time rendering. So lots of options that put a lot of power in those pretty nice and small form factors.
Well, it's going to be an exciting year that's probably going to cost us all a lot of money, even though it costs less. Now we can just buy more, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, my wallet has been aching looking at some of this stuff already.
So where can people find PC Perspective, and what are the things that you cover there?
Sure. So we do PC hardware, DIY PC builds, and technology reviews, networking, storage, all that stuff. And you can find us over at PCPer.com.
Well, great, Jim. Thank you very much, and thanks for coming up and saying hi, and we look forward to working with you maybe throughout the year.
That'd be great. It's great to meet you, Lon.
Cool. So you've probably seen these before. These are the Arcade 1-Up machines. They're releasing some new games now, so they've got two of the new ones here. This is Final Fight, but it also has a number of other games too, including 1944, Strider, and Ghosts and Goblins. It's a Capcom machine. And what's neat about these is they've really replicated the look and feel of the originals. They are a lot smaller. Now these here are looking a little taller perhaps than what you might have seen on other channels just because they have the risers on the bottom, which cost a little extra. They haven't announced pricing on the new games yet, so I would expect them to be about $300 a piece, so not inexpensive. So it's good that they're giving you 4 games at least on this one versus just one. But they're going to have this one, Space Invaders, the original Space Invaders, along with Mortal Kombat as well. So they're starting to build out a pretty cool and complete arcade here. The sticks feel pretty nice to me. Now, I'm not an arcade enthusiast. I'm sure a lot of enthusiasts would find something to suggest on these, but generally it has a very nice arcade feel to it, and because the artwork looks legit, it really has a real legit feel to me as a retro gamer. Really cool stuff. I just wish we could hack these things and put in a Raspberry Pi, which I know is possible, but I would love them to issue a kit to do that. But they have one more thing to check out. Let's see something new. Now this is a new thing, apparently so new that they just got it here. This is their Wallcade. And what this is going to do is hang from a wall, so you can install it on the side of a wall so you can get it up to the height that you want. They also said you can strap it to a door. I don't know if the straps are included, and they might have a little stand for it as well. These come pre-assembled, so you don't have to put them together. The other ones, you got to put the whole thing together to use them. They're going to have a couple of 80s games on this one, like Space Invaders, Pac-Man, and a few others as well. So if you were looking for something that maybe takes up a little less space, or you wanted something that looked cooler just hanging on the wall, this is another option for you from the Arcade 1-Up people. So Zotac is here, and I know Zotac because I love my little inexpensive mini PCs. What they have here at this show is anything but inexpensive, but really cool. So let's start over here. We have a RTX 2080 Ti. Look at that monster card there. So this is the latest and greatest NVIDIA GPU. And this I thought was really intriguing to me. This is another 2080 Ti, but it is fanless. It is liquid cooled. And apparently there's a new specification for liquid cooling NVIDIA chips, so you can run a little quieter with this. So it's all set to go. It weighs a ton. This thing is heavy. Now you have to do your own plumbing, so you have to get all your liquid cooling stuff done on your own, but this will support liquid cooling, fanless 2080 Ti GPU, and I'll let some of the other folks out there, like my friends at PC Perspective, do the thermal testing on it, but that's really neat. This is probably going to be the product of the gaming community for this year. The RTX 2060. $349 is the price point for this one, and as we heard a minute ago from many other manufacturers, it's bringing like 1070, 1080 performance at a lower price point. I think these are going to become kind of the standard GPU that we see. Now this is a $2,400 backpack VR device. So you put this on your back and then it attaches to a VR headset and you have total freedom of movement. He was telling me that they're using these a lot in VR venues, places where they're doing virtual reality that you pay a ticket to do. They put one of these on your back. The batteries are easily swappable. It runs about 90 minutes before you have to do a swap out, so it's designed for that kind of stuff. And I'm going to scoot in front of the camera real quick here, because this thing is what I'm really eager to check out. This is a little gaming PC. It's not out yet. They're still working on it, so I don't have an exact price for it. But inside is an RTX 2070 and a 6-core i7. I think it looks awesome. I just like the really small form factor here and how we're continually pushing things smaller and smaller, especially if you want portability or maybe you want to hook it up to your TV every once in a while. You don't have to lug a tower. You've got this little guy here. No word on thermals or fan noise or anything else like that, but maybe we'll get one in to take a look at as the year progresses. This one will be coming out in a few months. So we've talked on the channel before about having passwords that are unique to every website you visit, and I think passwords really are broken, and there needs to be something new to help make our security more secure, because I know a lot of people that use the same password for everything. So over here at the YubiKey table, and I'm with Stina. Hi, Stina.
Hi.
So for those of you who listen to the Security Now podcast, as I do, Steve Gibson discovered Stina at a security conference who had these little YubiKeys. So why don't you talk about what the YubiKey is, and then we'll talk about some new standards that you're hoping to introduce.
So it's a secure login technology that is in addition to a PIN or a password. And it's a key, a physical key, that works through the USB port or an NFC. And today we're actually also showing the new Lightning version that will work for iPhones that we're going to launch later in the spring.
Very cool. So the way this works is that I type in my password, and then Google will say to me, okay, the password's okay, but you need your YubiKey to be plugged in. So you just plug it in, is that it?
So you combine it with a simple PIN or a password, and you plug in the key, and then you touch it. And you touch it because you want to show that you're a real human, not a Trojan or a hacker that is remote. And that's the single biggest problem with all the hacks we see online today is the phishing attack. And this stops phishing. Since Google deployed this for all their staff and contractors, they had literally no phishing attacks.
And people don't realize that this is an adopted standard. All of the major platforms, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, everybody supports these. How much do they cost?
So they cost between $20 and $60. And yes, the vision we had when we started YubiKey was one single key to all internet. And in order to make that happen, part of my team moved from Stockholm to Silicon Valley to work with the leading cloud services and the leading browsers and platforms. And first we got Google, Then we were able to convince Facebook and GitHub and Microsoft and now also Apple and Amazon and leading financial services. This is a standard that is named either security key, if you go into Google and Facebook and on Microsoft, or FIDO U2F or FIDO 2. It's basically the same thing, and we are the leading creator and inventor behind it. So it's a big, I would say it's a big like, security movement. We're not the only provider of technology. We have given away the source code. We offer free open source components. So anyone can buy a key, get this to work with their services, or they can buy other companies' keys too.
And you can assign multiple keys to your account, right?
Yes, and Google have actually also recently launched a Chromebook where this technology is now natively supported into the Chromebook, in the touch button on the Chromebook. So we will eventually see it directly integrated in computers or phones. So why I like to talk to you today is that in order for this to scale everywhere is that users talk to their banks, talk to their government services, talk to their healthcare providers and say, I want them to make support so they don't need to have a password in the future, just have a key and a simple PIN. And the cool thing with this is that you only set it up once. So when you log in this for Facebook, for example, you bless your phone, you bless your computer, and then you can put your key in a drawer. You don't need to use it again. And that's because it has to be easy. And it's just a simple touch.
And it's something you have. So it's a physical object that if they got your password, if they don't have this, then that's it, right?
So you combine it with a simple PIN or a password, and the security is no longer in the password. So you don't have to remember a long, complicated password. And what we did with Microsoft, we actually removed the whole long password thing and just a simple PIN that you have yourself. It's no longer stored on the server. So that's the big revolution. It's a passwordless world. It also, I think we just have to remember that the phishing attacks is our single biggest problem on the internet today, and we need to stop it, and we can't stop it alone. So everyone needs to go out and I would say encourage service providers to make support and build products that have native support. You don't have to buy it from we are a leading provider, we're a co-inventor, but there are other competitors and there are other solutions around us.
Just the standard of getting rid of these passwords so we can get rid of the Post-it notes and writing our passwords down or using the same password for everything, and it's something that can be a big help for that. So.
Yes, and the final world, before every bank and every service has made support for this technology directly, you can use it with a password manager. So all the leading password managers, LastPass, Dashlane, Keeper, 1Password, they all support this technology, and that's a really good way to start, that you combine this with a password manager, because then you basically can log into 80-90% of everything you need to do online.
Then have that password manager manage all your passwords and give you unique ones. So the starting point is one of these. And Stina, it was a real pleasure to meet you. I've been hearing a lot about you over the years, and good luck to you. So that's going to do it for this dispatch from CES, and this will be our final dispatch of the year. I have to get back home, but I think we saw a lot in the short time that we were here. I do want to give some thank yous, first of all, to all of you for watching. I really appreciate that. That makes it a good motivator to go out and find all this cool stuff for you. Also want to thank Silicon Dust, the makers of the HD Home Run, who sponsored our trip to here. It was a very helpful thing to get all of us out here and finding all this cool stuff for you, so thank you to them. I also want to thank Goldie Chan, who is once again behind the camera for us here. She does a great job. She's on LinkedIn. I'll put a link to her LinkedIn profile down below. She's like the top video creator there, does some awesome content, and I've learned a lot from her in the course of what I do. She also writes for Forbes as well, so there's lots of great stuff that you can find from Goldie. So let me know what you thought of the CES coverage down in the comments below. It's really hard to cover everything at this show when you're only two people. So we look to try to make things efficient. We try to find things that other media may not be looking for. And hopefully you found it as interesting as we did, because it really helps me plan out the kinds of things I want to look at in the coming year. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, we're going to have that interview with Silicon Dust coming up probably tomorrow. So stay tuned for that on the channel. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you next year. This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold level supporters Chris Allegretta, the Four Guys with Quarters podcast, Tom Albrecht, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/S.